Did I get your attention? I watched a video on YouTube about how to make YouTube videos, and it says I have to get your attention within the first 4 seconds, or I might lose you. It also says that the attention span of the average YouTube viewer is about 1.5 minutes, so I'm going to try to keep this video short, because I don't want to lose you. It's a little cramped in here. I'm in the Jeep. It's a little dark. I had to set up some lights, because that YouTube expert on how to make YouTube videos says I should be well lit. So we're just gonna have to bear with the conditions and do the best we can. A week or two ago, I did a video on the Wouxun, pronounced Wouxun KG-1000 50-watt radio that my friend Sherwood got. I expressed that I was a little bit jealous, and the people at buytwowayradios.com must have felt pity on me because they sent me one. So now I too have a Wouxun KG-1000G 50-watt GMRS radio. When I did the video a few weeks ago with Sherwood's KG-1000, I didn't really get a chance to play with it very much, so I wasn't familiar with it other than just reading through the manual. I looked at the pictures. So there were a lot of features that the KG-1000 has that I didn't really know about, and some of the viewers left comments either pointing out to me what I missed or asking about some of the features that are really great features of the radio that I didn't even know about. Those comments were actually helpful and constructive, quality comments, although there were a few comments, actually several, from ham radio operators that apparently troll YouTube looking for GMRS radio videos so that they can try to evangelize us and talk us into just taking the test and getting our ham license. I think that when you get your ham license, it's like a big MLM scam. The more people you sign up, they must be getting paid, because if you look at any video on YouTube about GMRS, you're gonna see some ham radio guys in there telling us why not just sign up, just come on, just get your ham radio license. I don't understand why that is. The only thing that makes sense of why these guys are going out trying to sign us all up to get into ham radio is that they're getting paid for their signups. It's the only thing that makes sense. There were a couple of dickhead comments. I had to delete some, although I've been leaving some of the dickhead comments up instead of deleting them, which I used to always do, just so that others can marvel at the stupidity of the dickheads. I've even started awarding a dickhead comment award, where I pin the dickhead comment up to the top for everybody to enjoy. Don't be a dickhead. There's really only 2 other GMRS radios on the market that are high powered. The BTEC, which is the only other 50-watt GMRS radio, and then Midland has a radio that's 30 or 40 watts. So now that I've got my KG1000G from my friends at buytwowayradios.com, affiliate links below. I had a chance to play with it. It was really easy to install because I already had a radio installed, so the power and antenna and everything was already there. So the first feature that none of the other high power radios have, as far as I know, is that the KG1000 can be connected to another KG1000, turning the 2 radios into a repeater. That's a really nice option if you ever wanted to build your own repeater, or for some reason you wanted to make a makeshift repeater and you've got a friend that's got a KG1000. And it's really simple to do. You basically plug the 2 radios together with the cable that comes with the radios. You go in and you change a couple of settings. You connect an antenna up to each of the radios, and literally, boom, you've got yourself a GMRS repeater. So that is a really good feature that I don't think either of the other high power radios offer. Another great feature about the KG1000 that's a huge deal for me is that you can program multiple repeaters that use the same frequency. And the BTEC cannot do that. I don't know about the Midland. I don't think that it can. Somebody correct me below, leave a comment. What that means is if I have a repeater set up for my local home area and it's on, say, GMRS channel 25 and it uses tone XYZ, whatever, if I drive away and I know that there's a repeater off-road somewhere where I'm going 100 miles away that uses that same GMRS channel, that same frequency, but a different tone on the BTEC, the only way to connect to that repeater is to pull over to the side of the road and reprogram that channel to talk to that repeater. On the keypad and on the radio, it's a pain in the ass. On the KG1000G, you can have as many different repeaters using the same frequency but different tones as you want. You can program like up to 999 of them. So that is an awesome feature that is just impossible with the BTEC. The KG1000G is really easy to program. I set up mine, I set up 5 or 6 different repeaters, went through all of the settings, got it all customized and dialed in the way that I like it, and I did it all through just pressing the buttons on the talkie thingy, the microphone. This is English. And I did it all in about 10 or 15 minutes. I did have to read the manual. You do have to read the words on the paper. I know that some of you have difficulty doing that. And it was pretty simple. Just a few minutes and I had my whole radio, all my repeaters, everything dialed in. So it is really easy to program without even using the computer. But the thing that I like the most, I did mention this briefly in the other video, that other video where we installed Sherwood's KG1000G and we did a range test to see how far we could talk. I'll link to that video right here. You can see that video there. I did mention the removable faceplate, and that to me, that just makes this radio head and shoulders above any other radios because of how versatile it is for installing, how you can basically have your radio anywhere because you can remove that faceplate and basically stick it anywhere. So to show you how this looks and works, I have my other camera because that camera is kind of big and bulky to move around, so I've got my YouTube hobo camera here. I used to make all my videos on an iPhone up until just a few months ago when I got this camera. So I'm going to show you on this camera how this works. So I have my faceplate.
Channel mode.
Oh, doesn't she sound nice? That Wouxun lady, let me see if I can find her on Facebook. So I've got my faceplate mounted up here. Now this is actually not a great place to mount it. One, I'm sure someone will post a comment. These tops come off. But what you don't know, because you don't know me and how I use my Jeep, is that my top never comes off. My top has come off once since I bought this Jeep. It got all dusty inside. Top's never coming off again. I also get some flex in between this panel and this panel when I'm climbing over big rocks and I'm up on 2 wheels. So I had to drill out some of the holes that mount it on so that there's a little bit of give in there so that the plate doesn't snap in half. But basically, screwed it up here. It's got a mounting plate. It comes with a cable. It's like an Ethernet cable, but the wiring is a little bit different, but it's just a basically thin little cable that comes out, and I've already tucked it. You can see it right there just a little bit. This isn't a permanent installation because I'm not sure I'm going to keep everything here, but I just ran the wire across there, comes down to my radio, which I've got thrown under the seat right now. So for all intents and purposes, my radio is up here. And the chassis is hidden under the seat down there. The microphone plugs in here, and I've got it so that I can mount it right there. But all my controls for the radio are either right here on the radio, with the buttons here, programmable buttons. I've got it set up to change my squelch and power level and switch between the 2 frequencies that I can monitor at the same time. So I've got our Not a Rubicon channel that we use when we're off-road, that's GMRS channel 16. By the way, I put these names in directly through the keypad. I programmed the whole thing through the keypad. And then I've got a repeater, GMRS repeater, up on the top of San Diego Peak. And switch between them to decide which one I want to talk on. Got the microphone mounted up above. Microphone has all of the controls. Basically, you can do everything with the mic here. Now, because the chassis is down below, kind of dark. I know you can't really see it too well. The speakers are down there, and when it's mounted under the seat, I can't hear it as well. That's where the other nifty feature of the KG1000 comes in. That speaker in the microphone is actually louder than I thought it was. So when it's mounted up here, which is basically right next to my head, it's basically right next to my ear, so I can hear it perfectly when I'm driving on the freeway. And because the faceplate is just connected to this thin Ethernet cable, if I don't like it here, I can mount it down here, if that made sense. I didn't want to screw any holes into my dash here, but you can mount it anywhere. And that to me is the best feature of this radio, is that that's what makes the KG1000 to me, the best radio. Not that it's just 50 watts, not that it's got the other features that some of the other radios don't have. It's this, is that I can put this anywhere. So even though the radio is larger, it's larger than my B-Tech, I think it's quite a bit larger than the Midland. Really what matters is the size of the faceplate, because you can throw the chassis under the seat or put it anywhere out of the way. That's what makes this radio. I think we're done here. If you have any questions about the radio, post them below. Don't be a dickhead. If you enjoyed this video, or if you learned something, give it a thumbs up. Thumbs down means you blame someone else in the room when you fart. Thank you for watching. We hope to see you on the trail.